А где люди-то? Ой-ой-ой.
Large freezer fishing trawler Captain Bolsonovsky sank 35 kilometers from Cape Navarin, south of Chukotka. Due to the impact of ice on the hull, the welds ruptured in the portside area, which led to water entering the cargo holds. There were more than 90 crew members on board the ship. All of them were rescued. Ship loses cargo during storm. In Sri Lanka, the MV Express Pearl, carrying 1,186 containers, including 25 tons of nitric acid, was anchored off the coast of the port city of Negombo when a fire broke out after an explosion. Burning containers filled with chemicals fell into the sea from the deck of the ship as emergency crews extinguished the fire.
A chemical tanker crashes into waves over 10 meters high during a hurricane-force wind off the coast of Portugal. A powerful storm of this category can or severely damage a ship. Hello, everyone.
A cargo ship is struggling with giant waves in the rough sea of northern China. The force of the storm reaches 12 Beaufort points. The Fedra engines failed to start, and efforts to secure new lines from 3 large tugs failed. It was pinned up against the cliffs below the Europa Point lighthouse. 4 of the ship's crew were airlifted to safety by the gallant efforts of the Spanish Coast Guard.
That probably did it. I tried to have a nice relaxing pee and it all got blown away.
Yeah.
Oh, let's calm down a bit.
Hard to imagine the violence of the storm.
Yeah.
It's still very stormy.
Former Navy ship HMAS Tobruk has been scuttled off the Queensland coast, where it will become a dive site and tourist attraction.
screaming. Oh, it's going to go belly up. Oh, no, it might come back.
On January 26, 2016, the 164-meter vessel lost stability in a storm and quickly drifted towards the French coast in the Bay of Biscay. A team of dedicated rescuers from Smith Salvage arrived at the scene within 24 hours and were able to prevent an environmental disaster. Watch the video of this impressive rescue operation. An emergency situation has occurred off the coast of New South Wales after dozens of containers fell from a cargo ship during a storm at sea. Now there are questions about how securely they were secured during loading at the port.
Is
The Russian cargo ship broke in half, unable to withstand the impact of the wave. The crew is requesting assistance. A container ship rammed a tanker in the North Sea off the coast of Great Britain. As a result of the collision, a fire broke out on the ships. Rescue boats and firefighting vessels were immediately called in to deal with the consequences. The tanker suffered a hole in the hull and was extinguished, while the container ship burned out completely. The crews were evacuated and no one was injured.
A South Korean cargo ship carrying approximately 4,000 vehicles bound for the Middle East has listed heavily off the coast of the southern U.S. state of Georgia. The U.S. Coast Guard said the Golden Ray had a pilot and 23 crew members on board when it capsized in St. Simon's Sound.
A Russian tanker with fuel oil crashed in the Kerch Strait. One sailor died, and the rest of the crew were evacuated. The old ship was broken in half due to the strong waves during the storm. Thousands of tons of oil products ended up in the sea. On February 15th, all 22 sailors were evacuated from the bulk carrier Good Faith under the flag of Cyprus, which hit the rocks off the coast of Andros Island. The ship, which was heading to Odessa, got caught in a storm and the waves threw it on the rocks. The hull got a hole and took on water. Coast Guard officers who arrived at the accident site evacuated the entire crew from the bulk carrier, a vessel specializing in collecting polluted waters, and 3 tugboats were also sent to the area of the incident. Rare footage from the bridge of the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk, returning home to the naval base in Yokosuka, Japan, during a powerful storm. The starboard bridge at the bow was severely damaged by the impact of strong waves, and the safety net was torn off. Currently, the aircraft carrier has been removed from active service. The Sri Lankan Navy is trying to prevent an environmental disaster. For several days now, a fire has been burning on a cargo ship anchored near the port of Colombo. The Singapore-flagged ship was sailing from the Indian state of Gujarat and was carrying thousands of containers, including chemicals and fuel. As a result of the incident, 8 containers with pellets for the production of polyethylene, mixed with burnt oil, have already fallen into the water, which has polluted the popular Negombo beach located near the capital. Incredible footage of a 12,000-ton cargo ship caught in a 10-point storm. There are very long and high waves in the Bay of Biscay. You need to be prepared for this.
Aurora Australis, in a fully developed force 9 gale on her way to Antarctica. Wind 40-45 knots. Significant wave height 9 meters, but the most impressive wave is the dumping 14-meter breaker just ahead of the ship.
A Mexican Navy ship crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, causing the ship to be severely damaged by the fall of the mast onto the deck. There are injured sailors. A large Greek chemical tanker has collided with giant waves in the North Sea. A storm of this magnitude may not happen often and is capable of damaging a vessel. A fishing boat is sailing through a powerful storm. Huge waves cover the ship and toss it like a light boat. I wonder if the team is scared.
Holy
A cruise ship sailing through the legendary Drake Strait between the southernmost tip of South America and Antarctica was caught in a powerful storm. "40-foot heart-stopping waves that were enough to knock other passengers off their feet. This is really an unforgettable adventure, perhaps for which people go on an ocean cruise.
Our line just broke?
Incredible footage captured inside a cruise ship caught in a tropical hurricane. The ship is tossed from side to side, causing everything inside to collapse.
Oh, the wind. Be careful, that window's open. The windows are open, don't fall out.
Sinking a boat in order to create an artificial reef around a sunken vessel. An oil vessel in distress ran aground off the coast, a few dozen meters from Reunion Island. A serious accident, as the island is being shaken by a strong tropical cyclone, Batsirai.
A Russian tanker with fuel oil crashed in the Kerch Strait. One sailor died, and the rest of the crew were evacuated. The old ship was broken in half due to the strong waves during the storm. Thousands of tons of oil products ended up in the sea.
USS Arthur W. Radford. The 564ft longship was scuttled and sunk at the Del Jersey Land Inshore Reef Site southeast of Cape May, New Jersey on August 10th of 2011. A number of nearby communities are expected to benefit from the Radford's new life as an artificial reef.
What happens when she hits the bottom?
On the morning of 16th April 2014, the ferry MV Sewol sank while en route from Incheon towards Jeju City in South Korea. The 6,125-ton vessel sent a distress signal from about 2.7 kilometers north of Byongpungdo at 0858 KST. A giant cargo ship transports timber during a storm. These waves are quite powerful and high. At such moments, the full force of nature is really felt. This huge vessel, Pacha Bulker, was washed up on beach by waves during a storm in Newcastle.
On February 15th, all 22 sailors were evacuated from the bulk carrier Good Faith under the flag of Cyprus, which hit the rocks off the coast of Andros Island. The ship, which was heading to Odessa, got caught in a storm and the waves threw it on the rocks. The hull got a hole and took on water. Coast Guard officers who arrived at the accident site evacuated the entire crew from the bulk carrier. A vessel specializing in collecting polluted waters and 3 tugboats were also sent to the area of the incident.
What to do with the wreckage of the Wakasio? Is this the Japanese merchant ship that ran aground and then split in half, dumping more than 100 tons of hydrocarbons into the turquoise waters off Mauritius? Japan and France have announced that they have sent experts to the government of Mauritius. A huge tanker goes underwater into the sea. The crew of a Dutch cargo ship was rescued during a storm off the coast of Norway. The ship was in danger of sinking and causing an oil spill. The footage shows some of the 12 crew members jumping into the ocean, after which they were rescued by a helicopter. The rest were lifted straight from the deck. All of them were taken to a safe place. The tugboat Liberty went to the aid of the bulk carrier Federal Miramichi to Guernsey Island on the coast of Normandy in the English Channel. A 160-meter-long cargo ship was caught in a devastating storm near the Cape of Good Hope. The ship's roll reaches 32 degrees at a critical 40. The 195-meter-long oil tanker was caught in a 12-point storm. The wind speed reaches 50 meters per second. A severe storm caught a cargo ship in the Pacific Ocean. Huge waves are rolling on the deck.
Нихуя себе, блядь. Вот это въебало, блядь. Не знаю, блядь. Хорошо, что не вышли, блядь.
The aftermath of a major hurricane in the Indian Ocean. Part of the cargo on the ship was lost.
We stopped.
What's that? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's gonna crash.
This trip to Antarctica is getting really interesting.
Oh my god.
October 18th, 2014. Ebola scare on board. U.S. Coast Guard picking up blood sample from the Carnival Magic en route back to Galveston. Video taken on the Queen Elizabeth in very rough seas during her maiden transatlantic crossing in January 2011. The cargo ship Grand America sank 330 kilometers west of La Rochelle after a fire. There were 2,200 tons of fuel oil on board in the cargo compartments. chemical tanker encountered a powerful storm on its way to New York.
Là, il est cassé. Là. Ça y est, il se casse.
Fishing vessel passes through a powerful storm.
Wow, that was nice, man. That was nice, man. Oh shit.
The Ocean X Sanderling pushed to St. John's, NL from Halifax in a very bad winter storm. The vessel pushed at 11-12 knots, while other vessels in the area slowed to a safe 3-4 knots for safety and to prevent any damages.
Oh man. Huh? Oh shit, man. It's not good, huh?
An oil tanker is experiencing a powerful Hurricane Sandy in the Sargasso Sea, a 12-point Beaufort storm.
Whoa, hang on. Hang on,
Fucking hell.
The boat ended up against the rocks because of the strong Sirocco wind that throughout the day had blown over Sicily and is half sunk, bow first. Fortunately, no injuries were recorded, either among the passengers or among the crew members. In all, there were 117 passengers and 6 crew members on board. Scenes of panic were recorded. The passengers were disembarked thanks to lifeboats and boats made available by the islanders. The South Korean merchant ship Stellar Banner was sunk off the coast of the Brazilian state of Maranhão after running aground and sustaining serious damage. The initial inspection showed that the cargo ship had a 25-meter-long hole. The decision to sink the vessel was made after a thorough assessment of its condition. The MSC Opera cruise ship was about to dock at the passenger terminal in Venice when it experienced technical problems. 2 tugboats guiding the cruise ship in Venice tried to stop it, but were unable to prevent a collision due to a broken tow rope. As a result, the vessel crashed into a pier and damaged a moored pleasure craft. Cruise ship Anthem of the Seas. Go through Hurricane Hermine. You never know what you're going to see when you're out in the ocean. This jet fighter visited us on our Bahamas cruise on the Carnival Miracle.
Ya no me gusta nada. No me gusta nada.
Ya piedad, esto es piedad,
The Grand Holiday cruise ship passes through powerful waves in a storm. You can see how the ship tilted, which caused panic among passengers and crew. In the early morning of March 16, 2011, the 225-meter bulk carrier MS Oliva runs aground at Nightingale Island, regarded as the second most important bird island in the world, and very remotely located at 1,500 miles from Cape Town. The cargo ship sinks to the bottom. An Icelandic air rescue team is at work rescuing the crew of a cargo ship, Skalva, caught in a storm. A fire broke out on the cargo ship at night. As a result, all the cars were destroyed. High seas in the middle of Atlantic Ocean in winter season. 12. Beaufort wind speed. Hurricane. Continuous rolling pitching. Vessel tried to proceed towards Canada with half a head, but 0 GPS speed, only drifting southerly. On board the ship MS Expedition, Force 12 on the Beaufort scale, from the Antarctic Peninsula to South America. Naval experiment in the Pacific Ocean. An American warship or platform is deliberately sunk and spills into the water in an upright position in order to switch between horizontal and vertical orientations. The cargo ship Smart ran aground and split in half. It happened in the harbor of Richards Bay, on the coast of the Indian Ocean in the Republic of South Africa. A small ship caught in a storm loses its cargo.
This is still on the voyage to Antarctica, taken through the window at the stern of the ship. Notice what a pretty day it is. Just very high seas.
Rolling.
From here on, our movies of the return trip, also supposed to take 2 days, but it took 4. The seas were up to 50 feet and 50-mile-an-hour winds. This movie is before they really got serious, because pretty soon we were hanging on for dear life to all the railings, and many people were choosing not to move. We had one lunch in our cabins.